Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome to the 54th Commission on Population and Development Side Event 2021, empowered by the United Nations Commission on Population and Development, organized by Haiti Cholera Research Funding Foundation. Titled, Food Insecurity is also an issue for both homeless and low-income population. The session is held virtually due to travel restrictions caused by COVID-19 pandemic. Let me first thank you all being here with us. I am Ahmed Nigim, the moderator of the session and Haiti Cholera Research Funding Foundation representative to the United Nations and to the State of Palestine. I would like to start by welcoming our unique panelists. First, the President of Haiti Cholera Research Funding Foundation, Pierrette Keziao. Welcome. Second, Nadine Kioni from Behave Infants and Education, Population and Education in Africa. Welcome. Finally, Mr. Dinko Lamin from Africa Cultural International Human Rights to United Nations. Our today's session will be focusing on the impact of food insecurity on populations, specifically those with low income and homeless. For better understanding how big the problem is, please let me first share with you some statistics. 8.9% of the world population is suffering hunger. That means 690 million people, which is about 10 million in 1 year or 60 million in 5 years. Moreover, 381 million people in the world is undernourished. Most of food insecurity problems are results of two major events, controllable events and uncontrollable events. Examples of uncontrollable events are natural disasters such as earthquakes, environmental changes, and so on. Examples of controllable events that can be prevented are wars outcome, as we can see these days in the state of Yemen. According to the World Food Programme, the current level of hunger in Yemen is unprecedented and is causing severe hardship for millions of people. Despite ongoing humanitarian assistance, 16.2 million Yemenis are food insecure. As we are talking today about food insecurity, we won't forget to mention the water-related problems, as the situation in Africa is the greatest example. As the second driest continent after Australia, the natural distribution of water is unequal, meaning a lot of water, low population, few water in higher populations. In Africa, if we travel back on time, we will find that the first civilization on Earth, the Pharaoh's civilization, had its prosperity depending on the Nile River, where people started to know agriculture and food stability and security. Nowadays, after thousands of years away from that great civilization, the region is facing a critical situation from when Ethiopia started to take unilateral steps, building a huge dam that is cutting off the Nile water from Sudan and Egypt, putting lives of over 120 million people in major risk. And it's obvious for all the world that no nation would accept to put its civilians at such risk, neither Sudan nor Egypt. And clearly, that will have a catastrophic impact on the region of East Africa if Ethiopia kept its unilateral measures. After this introduction, Our awareness of food insecurity worldwide has increased. We would like to switch to our panelist-specific presentation, starting with Pierre Kezeo, the President of Haiti Cholera Research Funding Foundation. Please, the floor is yours.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pierre Kezeo. I'm the President and founder of Haiti Cholera Research Funding Foundation. Welcome to the event for the CPD 54. My name is Pierre Kezeo. I'm the President and founder of Haiti Cholera Research Funding Foundation. Welcome to the event for the CPD 54. We welcome each of the panelists that joined and welcome the guests. And then thank you very much to the United Nations that invited us and give us the platform for us to introduce each of our projects and then our work that we've been doing. Would you please upload my file, please? Okay. Did everybody see me?
Yes.
Okay.
And the presentation.
South Florida continues to face hunger and student homelessness challenges. This is from the CPD 54. Florida homeless students concentrated in suburbs. And the year 2013 to 2014 school year, Florida had 2.7 million students enrolled in 74 local education agencies. The school district represented the state of 67 counties and other agencies. That year, there were over 67,000 homeless students in the state, making up 2.5% of total enrollment. Florida again has the fourth highest number of homeless students and the 20th highest rate of student homeless in the United States. The school district with the highest rate of student homelessness were Franklin County, which is 22%, and Madison County, which is 21%. The number of homeless students and percentage living doubled up. 7 school districts had over 3,000 students, such as Orange, Osceola, Polk, Hillsborough, Lake, Dade, and Pinellas. 5 had rates of student homelessness above 10%, again back to Franklin, Madison, Lafayette, Hamilton, and Gaston. Again, in 15 schools in Florida, over 92% of homeless students were sleeping in a temporary double-up living arrangement. 4 of these school districts had over 400 homeless students in double-up conditions. Occoquan, Henry, and Madison. Those are the states that Florida are facing. Florida also have a program called McKinney Venture Funding. A number of homeless students, those are the ones that receive funding. Please remember, Florida has a population of 22 million, and Palm Beach County, where we are, has a population 1.5, which are over 60,000 nonprofit organizations registered in the Palm Beach County. The education of homeless children and youth program established by Mackenzie Venture. It is a primary source of federal funding from homeless students in elementary and secondary school. Since school year 2011 to 12, Florida McKinney Venture funding increased by 4% to 3.5 million. Over the same period, the number of homeless students rose 6% to 67,000. Again, Florida has the 31 highest rate of growing in student homelessness nationwide during that time. An average of Florida received $52.50 per homeless student. In school year 2013 to 2014, down from $53.41 in school year 2011 and 2012. Nationally, the percentage student average for school year 2013 and 2014 was only $49.98, as you could see from the map. The school district received again McKinney's Venture sub-grant and ratio of homeless students to free lunch eligibility students. Comparing the number of homeless and low-income students is a way to gauge how well schools are identifying homeless students. In Florida, 35% of school districts had a ratio of homeless students to free lunch eligible students smaller than the statewide average, 4.7%, including 11 that received sub-grants. In school year 2013 to 2014, 63% of Florida school districts received Mackenzie Venture sub-grant, and 95% of the state homeless students live in the district with a subgrade. Non-grantees with the most homeless students included Coquille, Madison, and Charlotte counties. The proficient in third grade reading and math. Student performance in third grade is a strong predictor of high school graduation and has been shown to be affected by family and socioeconomic factors. The achievement gap between districts with high and low rates of homelessness was narrow. Third grade students in area with above average rate of student homelessness passed the state assessment at rate only to 2 to 3%, points lower than in districts with below average rate of student homeless. As you could see on the graph, the statewide is 50%. When you compare for the reading, it's 58% to 56% if you look at it. The 58% from the statewide is district with below average rate of student homelessness. The 56% from reading below the statewide, all the students with average, above average rate of student homelessness. When you look at statewide, which is 56%, when it comes to the math department, the district with below average rate of student homelessness, it has been increased compared to the statewide. When it comes to the district with above average rate of student homelessness, with statewide slightly 2% decrease. Where homeless students live by population density. Family in rural area or small town often have fewer shelters or services to turn to for assistance. This is where you have so many non-profit organizations and family structures, with each one of us try to fill the gap. In Florida, 78% of homeless students live in suburbs school districts, including over 44,000 students who live in area of over 250,000 people among mid-sized suburbs. Three districts have over 1,000 homeless students each, as I mentioned before, Park, Lake, and Bay. Homelessness was disappointingly seen in Florida, small towns and rural areas, despite enrolling only 7% of the total student population in the state. This district accounted for 14% of all homeless students. You won't believe 78% of that math, which if you have over 67,000, 78%, suburbs, you won't believe right here in the United States. The ethical issue for human nutrition. How do societal decision measures and value about food security ensure inclusivity of nutrition? Is there a right to adequate nutrition? And if so, what are the obligations and responsibilities of different actors to progressively realize that right? What moral obligation do states bear to fulfill the right to nutrition food for the citizens, particularly the most vulnerable? What are the ethical trade-offs between environmental sustainability and ensuring individual dietary and nutrition needs? What ethical obligation, if any, do we have with respect to the consumption of certain nutrition foods, such as resources intensive food from animal sources? This is a question that we as an NGO or as a CSO, civil society, has been asking ourselves. This is a time that UN has to look this graphic and then this statistic. They're not from a third world country. They're right here in the United States. So therefore, we are following the same path as a third world country, even though that we are number one sources funding to United Nations. Improving nutrition outcome require more than food. In 1996, World Food Summit adopted the following definition: food security exists when all people at all times have physical and economic access to sufficiency, safe and nutritious food to meet the dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. FAO 1996. Another quote from FAO: nutrition security exists when all people at all times receive food for sufficiency, quantity, and quality in terms of variety, diversity, nutrition, content, and safety to meet their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life, coupled with a sanitary environment, adequate health, education, and care. The last one, nutrition has implications with respect to a range of sectoral approaches that need to be combined to reach the desired desired goal beyond food by focusing only on food-related aspect of nutrition and more so only on quantity of calories consumed. There are limits to what improvement can be made on the nutritionist status of population. Self-flooding or food insecurity. Where are they and how we monitor them? Penfoot Pies is not far from Palm Beach County. Penfoot Pie overall food insecurity range from a low of 9.1% of the population in Miami-Dade up to 14.3% in Broward County. The national average of food insecurity rate across all countries is 12.9%. When you compare to Palm Beach County, which is where the foundation is their headquarters, 13.6%, which we have a 1.5 million population percent of the Palm Beach County population is food insecure, with 189,000 plus people not knowing from where they will get the next meal. The food budget shortfall in Palm Beach County per person per week is only $19.79, with a total shortfall of 114 million. When you compare Palm Beach County with Broward County, where we serve as well, you have 14.3% of the Broward County population is food insecure, with 265,000 plus people not knowing where the next meal will get the next meal. The food budget shortfall in Broward County per person per week is $1925.25. When you compare Broward County and Florida and Palm Beach County, you look at the two, is only the difference is only a few cents shorter between Broward and Palm Beach County. The total shortfall is 155 million. Again, we have more people in Broward and then less people in Broward compared to Palm Beach County. Continue with the food insecurity. Miami-Dade County has 9.1%. Miami-Dade County population is food insecure with 240,620 people not knowing where they will get the next meal. The food budget for the Miami County per person per week is $19.45 with a total shortfall of 142,000 million. Okay. The last one, this is where we have less food insecurity and less homeless. You have 11.4. The Monroe County population is food insecurity with 8,000 only when you compare to the other, such as Pembroke Park, Pembroke, Palm Beach County, Miami-Dade, and then the others. You see the population size is the one that's food insecure is only over 8,000 people not knowing from where they will get the next meal. The food budget shortfall in Monroe County per person per week is $22.59, with a total shortfall only 6 million. So therefore, the population is not in the need for homelessness and food insecurity. What we have been doing for the past 7 years, we are most concentrated. Haiti Cholera Research Funding Foundation, HCRFF, Resources and Solutions. From April 24th to present, during the COVID-19, we distribute over 100 pallets of food and nutrition kits to children through a partnership. Again, in February 2020, we launched a mobile food pantry to reach 10 mobile homes in 6 municipalities throughout Palm Beach County. Palm Beach County alone has 39 municipalities. We only serve the 10 mobile homes and then 6 municipalities. We also launched a Hispanic volunteer representative to outreach low migrant as well undocumented immigrant children. We launched also a diabetic education services that will help manage their healthy diet as well as diabetic. Continue with the solution. Our project Health for All Youth Homeless. And April 24, 2020, we distribute over 7,000 female hygiene sanitary pads and 2,800 hygiene kits to our clients and enrollees. We serve over 64 adult women and 12 youth mothers by enrolling them to our maternal and child health program to receive maternal supplies. In 2020, we distribute more than 10,000 diapers and pull up 7,000 baby wipes, several infant and baby formula. We distribute several boxes of maternal supplies for new mothers and mothers to be that cost over over $115 to $120 per client. The health-related issue, we distribute over 55,000 face masks, usable masks to prevent COVID. How we manage our progress, like I said to you before, we have the program, the health, the end period program, the health for youth homeless and diabetic program. What we did, we have what we call that again, a survey that we do when you register. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what we did, we have a questionnaire that we do all over the ask where are you, which clients, and all this kind of thing. That allows us to manage how many people that we serve, how many people, new clients, and which facility that you want to see, and what you really need. Therefore, they provide the name of the children when they have to be there, and so on, and so on, and so on. That help us reach to reduce the poverty, to reduce the not to reduce the homelessness, but to ease the pain of the homelessness and to provide those services. And again, we go to the end period project, as you see the same thing. The help for all youth homeless, when you talk about the food insecurity, we did the same thing. So what we did with the support of Palm Beach Food Bank and ICNA Relief, we did the same thing. We monitored the people how the food ate and how we're going to divide it. So therefore, you don't have to register all the time. You register by zone, and then you inform the others that has food insecurity where to get the meal. So that's what it is. Again, how many people who knew, how many people who's been existed, and then all these people, as I said before, the mobile homes, the private homes, and then all this includes to reduce the food insecurity. And mostly this mobile home, you have children that are not, because of COVID-19, school or closed, and they have not received any food. We are there also to prevent them. We also ask them, how do you want the vax? If you want it once a month, if you want it every 2 weeks, if you want it weekly, or if you want it once a week at all. This is the statistics, how we prepare and how we know our progress and to help them. When you look at the diabetic, we do the same thing. Who are our partners? Our partners are Palm Beach County Food Bank, as I mentioned. ICNA Relief south of Florida. We did the same thing for diabetic. The Junior League of Boca Raton Diaper Bank. We've been partnered with them, and then since August last year, August this year will be a year that allow us to deliver over 10,000 diapers and 7,000 baby wipes. We funded Quantum Foundation and Corporation. This is our great partners that help us run and function a foundation. With also the support with Trustee, who funded most of the program and make us run. The South Florida resources, besides Palm Beach County Food Bank, besides Quantum, beside us, ICNA, and besides us, those are the resources that any NGO could go to help reduce the food insecurity. The Feeding South Florida is there. The Florida Department of Children and Family is also a source that if you're dealing with family food insecurity and shelter, that means homes, that usually the Florida Department of Health contact active NGOs that provide services, temporary shelter. The county will come and pick it up. You have the summer break spot. The summer break spot is only when school is closed. So what they try to do, they try to have active nonprofit organizations decide to become a partner to continue to provide the food security to low-income migrant children to our Palm Beach County, Florida. You have the Florida Impact to End Homeless. This is where you become a partner to help relieve the burden, especially in domestic violence when women have children, they left their husband and so on. The Florida Department of Education, this is where as a nonprofit organization, you could sign with and then become partners. The hood, as you know, has a grant, but the grant divides in so many. Those are actors who've been getting involved. The Florida School Break Against Fast program, this is a program that only has selected from the county commissioner to have the NGO to start working for them. And if you have any questions, as I said earlier, my name is Pura Jikazo. I'm the president and founder of Haiti Color Research Funding Foundation. So this is my number that you can reach me. So in my email address is the website. And we're looking for volunteers. to other programs, not only for UN, also to decrease the burden from the women and children from low migrant. Once again, thank you very much, everyone. Yes, I'm losing my voice. Sorry.
No worries.
Thank you very much.
So, any questions?
Any question? Anyone has question? Okay, we move on to the next.
Maybe later.
Yeah, thank you so much for this great work and hard efforts to solve some of the problems in relation of food insecurity. Now we can switch on to Nadine's presentation. Please, the floor is yours.
Yeah. OK. Vous m'entendez? C'est OK?
Oui.
Voilà. Donc, bonjour à tous.
Bonjour.
Merci pour cette introduction, Dr Nigim. Pour moi, c'est un honneur de pouvoir assister à cette 54e session de la Commission de la population et du développement. Et en tant que présidente de l'ONG Behave Enfance Éducation RDC. Alors, ma question, il y avait le PowerPoint. Pierrette, est-ce qu'on peut le lancer?
Yeah, Pierrette has to share it. Yes.
OK, on peut passer au deuxième PowerPoint.
Voilà.
Au deuxième. Voilà. Voilà. Alors, aujourd'hui, face à cette crise mondiale que nous traversons due au Covid-19, ma question est, qu'en est-il des enfants des rues qui vivent seuls dehors et qui meurent de faim dans la capitale de Kinshasa, dans la capitale Kinshasa, qui est la capitale de la République démocratique du Congo. En sachant que la capitale de Kinshasa a 12 millions d'habitants. Et sur ces 12 millions, on retrouve 25 000 enfants qui vivent à l'extérieur. Alors, ces enfants sont catégorisés généralement parce qu'ils sont abandonnés. Ces enfants sont orphelins. Les enfants sont parfois appelés sorciers. Donc, les parents les chassent de leur maison et se retrouvent sans personne. Ou bien sont des jeunes adultes qu'on appelle aussi chégués qui se retrouvent aussi à l'extérieur. Et donc, 25 000 enfants, c'est énorme pour une capitale. Alors, pour moi, je me disais, voilà, en tant que président de Behave Éducation, on se demandait, voilà, que pouvons-nous faire pour trouver des solutions pour éradiquer ces problèmes? Solutions qu'on ne peut pas prendre seul, mais ces solutions qu'on peut prendre collectivement. Nous sommes au 3e slide, déjà. Hein.
Ça va?
Voilà. Voilà, oui, c'est parfait. Ce sont des solutions que nous pouvons prendre collectivement. Et quelles sont ces solutions qu'on peut prendre pour éradiquer ces situations dramatiques qui touchent ces enfants de rue? Et il est important comme solution que les gouvernements, les décideurs puissent pouvoir travailler avec les acteurs sociaux de terrain, les acteurs locaux qui sont vraiment sur le terrain, ensemble pour trouver des solutions collectives face à ces problèmes, en sachant qu'avec la crise qui nous a touchés malheureusement, beaucoup de centres d'accueil ont dû fermer. Suite, voilà, il faut respecter les consignes sanitaires. Beaucoup de partenaires ont dû fermer ces centres d'accueil, ce qui a impacté le travail que nous faisons à Kinshasa pour pouvoir sensibiliser ces enfants, pour pouvoir les accueillir dans les centres d'accueil afin de les offrir à manger, afin de les offrir des soins, afin de pouvoir aussi avoir une assistante psychologique, les écouter et pouvoir vraiment essayer ensemble de les réinsérer dans la société, ce qui est un travail pas facile. Donc, voilà, on peut passer au slide suivant.
On commence. C'est bien ça?
Oui, 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 c'est bien ça. C'est bien ça. Voilà. Alors, pour moi, pour nous en tant que BEV, nous avons souligné que les villes ne peuvent pas trouver des solutions seules. Ça, c'est inadmissible. Nous encourageons vraiment, à travers ce petit plaidoyer que nous faisons, ceux qui peuvent nous entendre, c'est vraiment rappeler au gouvernement qu'il est urgent de protéger les plus vulnérables, parmi lesquels se trouvent les enfants en situation de rue, et encourager particulièrement la collaboration des associations locales en œuvrant ceux qui œuvrent auprès des enfants et à réfléchir ensemble des moyens adaptés pour ces jeunes en ces situations de Covid et combattre ensemble cette pandémie 2004 à trouver des solutions parce que ces enfants sont laissés à eux-mêmes. Les associations sont fermées et donc pour nous, c'est vraiment important de le rappeler qu'il est important que le gouvernement puisse soutenir ces associations comme BEV qui travaillent à Kinshasa ou aussi au Bénin, au Togo, pour pouvoir vraiment trouver des solutions et enfin voilà, protéger ces enfants contre la faim, parce qu'ils sont délaissés, pour pouvoir vraiment les encadrer et aller de l'avant. Donc, c'est un petit plaidoyer que je voulais faire pour cette 54e session. Et donc, voilà. Merci pour votre attention.
Thank you so much. Any questions? Thank you so much for the presentation. And we go further to Mr. Dinko Lamin. Please, the floor is yours.
Okay, excuse me. I will give my speech by French because my English is not high level.
Can you share your video, please?
My video, yes. What I'm doing now? What I'm doing? Okay. Yes. It's okay?
Yeah, please start en français.
Ok, en français. Mesdames, Messieurs, Mesdames la présidente de l'organisation d'Haïti Cholera, Research Funding Foundation, Inc., Mesdames, Messieurs les panélistes, chers camarades de la société civile, chers invités, sur cette 54e session du 19 au 23 avril 2021, intitulée Population, sécurité alimentaire, nutrition et développement durable, nous allons développer la situation par rapport à la population et l'éducation en Afrique subsaharienne. Plus précisément, mes camarades de la société civile ici présents savent que j'ai toujours défendu cette situation de la déscolarisation plutôt des enfants et surtout des jeunes filles devant le Conseil des droits de l'homme des Nations Unies. L'idée parce que l'idéal des pays de l'Afrique subsaharienne serait de s'investir davantage dans l'éducation, surtout des jeunes. Je n'aurais pas donc changé aujourd'hui en intitulant mon exposé « Population et éducation en Afrique ». Mais avant tout d'abord, qu'est-ce que ce phénomène de la déscolarisation et pourquoi? Comment doit-il s'organiser et fonctionner? Ce sont là les questions auxquelles je vais m'efforcer de répondre. Mais auparavant, qu'est-ce que l'Afrique par rapport au reste du monde? Je le sais, la science d'aujourd'hui est essentiellement consacrée aux problèmes de population, sécurité alimentaire, nutrition et développement durable. C'est pourquoi plus de la moitié de mon exposé y aura trait. Non, par ailleurs, pour me conformer exactement à l'heure du jour, mais parce que je pense que ces phénomènes socioculturels de population et d'éducation sont des problèmes fondamentaux comme au commencement et à la fin du développement. Nous allons parler de l'Afrique subsaharienne. Partant pour l'Afrique subsaharienne, d'une population estimée en 2020 à 1,1 milliard soit 14% de la population mondiale. Ces projections aboutissent à une population comprise en 2050 entre 1,9 milliard et 2,3 milliards d'habitants, soit 22% de la population mondiale. Elle a longtemps été considérée par les démographes comme une région relativement homogène et résistante aux changements socio-démographiques qui étaient en cours dans une bonne partie du monde dès les années 50. Dans les années 70, on parlait encore d'une démographie africaine ou d'une démographie de l'Afrique tropicale, globalement caractérisée par des mariages précoces et universels, des fécondités élevées, des mortalités importantes et finalement des croissances rapides. Depuis, la situation a bien changé et l'Afrique ne fait plus figure d'exception. Globalement, elle est entrée dans le processus de transition démographique. Dans son ensemble, l'Afrique subsaharienne est sans aucun doute entrée dans le processus global, de la transition démographique avec une baisse préalable de la mortalité dès les années 60, suivie plus précisément d'un début de recul de la natalité. Mais seule une minorité de pays suivent le modèle classique sans à-coup ni rupture ou retournement de situation. L'Afrique est un continent qui couvre 6% de la superficie de la Terre et 20% de la surface des terres émergées. Sa superficie est de 30 415 873 millions km² avec les îles. L'Afrique subsaharienne est l'étendue du continent africain au sud du Sahara, séparée écologiquement des pays du Nord par le climat rude du plus vaste désert chaud du monde. Vers le milieu du XXe siècle, de nombreux anthropologues s'étaient ralliés à la théorie du monogénisme, mais les partisans du polygénisme, comme Carl Kuhn, demeurent influents. Ce dernier émit en 1962 l'hypothèse d'une évolution indépendante séparée d'Homo erectus vers Homo sapiens sur chacun de ces 5 continents. Le polygénisme en essuie cédé la place dans les années 1980 à la théorie de l'origine multirégionale de l'homme moderne, une version intermédiaire dans laquelle les 5 branches d'Homo erectus échangent des gènes tout au long de leur évolution avant de parvenir au stade final d'Homo sapiens. Le développement de la génétique des populations dans les années 1980-1990 a permis de montrer l'origine comme une récente de toute l'humanité actuelle avec un enracinement sur le continent africain, remplaçant la monogénie comme théorie centrale et quasi-consensuelle de l'origine de l'homme moderne. L'éducation subsaharienne en Afrique. Nous avons tous constaté qu'il y a des problèmes très, très importants concernant cette situation, mais selon un courant de pensée, l'essor quantitatif et qualitatif des systèmes éducatifs de l'Afrique subsaharienne justifie par l'impact de l'éducation sur le développement serait possible par une augmentation substantielle des dépenses d'éducation. Les ressources disponibles seraient avant tout mal utilisées et il serait naïf de penser que les performances meilleures des systèmes éducatifs des pays riches sont dues à leur richesse. C'est une idée séduisante pour 2 raisons. Elle stimule la recherche et dépense la communauté internationale d'augmenter son aide. Notre propos est de montrer qu'elle est mal fondée. Cette idée est soutenue par 2 arguments que nous allons exprimer et examiner successivement. Le premier relève d'une comparaison internationale de l'efficience, le second de l'évolution des fonctions de production scolaire. La synthèse des estimations de fonctions de production scolaire a été l'occasion d'un débat sur lequel nous revenons pour en constater l'issue selon laquelle il n'y aurait pas de lien entre les ressources et les performances. Cependant, l'existence d'un tel lien n'est pas incompatible avec une allocation sous-optimale des ressources. Nous examinons également le pouvoir explicatif des fonctions de production estimées et discutons l'interprétation de ces fonctions et les prescriptions politiques qui autorisent. Pour les pays africains et surtout subsahariens qui présentent encore aujourd'hui parmi les plus faibles taux de scolarisation, les atteintes en matière d'éducation sont énormes à la mesure des défis qui s'opposent notamment d'ordre démographique. Après avoir discuté l'évolution de la scolarisation sur le continent africain et la perspective de l'atteinte des objectifs fixés qui peuvent faire figure de virage, ce texte s'attache ensuite à questionner quelques défis, les défis du nombre, les dividendes démographiques, etc. La relation entre démographie et éducation et développement sont fortes, mais aussi très complexes. Elles méritent d'être abordées et traitées hors de toute approche idéologique, mais de manière réaliste, contextualisée et critique. L'éducation comme facteur de développement en Afrique, oui, c'est possible, et j'admets cette hypothèse. L'éducation est l'arme la plus puissante pour changer le monde, disait Nelson Mandela lors d'un discours à Mexico en 2007. Cette citation met en défi le monde et en particulier le continent africain qui est resté et traîne en termes d'éducation et de scolarisation. Il serait anormal d'avancer sans rappeler que l'Afrique est et resterait le berceau de l'humanité. La situation de l'éducation en Afrique est bien souvent sombre, empreinte de soupirs face à un combat d'échecs. Pourtant, une centaine de perspectives s'imposent. L'école pour tous n'existe que depuis les indépendances, il y a seulement environ 60 ans. Parler de crise inexorable de l'éducation en Afrique, épulcher les rapports alarmants des organisations internationales et à relativiser dans la mesure où la mutation vers un enseignement élargi est assez récente. Cet ensemble d'éléments amène à se demander comment l'Afrique peut poursuivre sa trajectoire de croissance tout en assurant un enseignement de qualité et de masse, s'inspirer de modèles adoptés par des pays en développement et une voie, comme nous y invitent certains spécialistes. L'idée d'un chèque d'éducation ou bourse sur le modèle indien est une piste intéressante permettant de renforcer la responsabilisation des établissements et des parents en finançant directement les élèves et non les écoles. De même, opter pour une sorte de bolsa familia sur le modèle brésilien permettrait de subventionner les produits de première nécessité des familles défavorisées envoyant leurs enfants à l'école. En effet, sur 10 pays qui affichent le plus faible taux d'alphabétisation dans le monde, 7 se trouvent être africains. C'est désolant. Ces statistiques sont révélatrices de carences structurelles en matière d'éducation sur le continent. Quel est l'état des lieux de l'éducation en Afrique? Quelles sont les causes de cette carence sur l'éducation? À cet effet, l'organisation Africa Culture International Human Rights, ACI Human Rights, s'est mise à l'initiative d'un projet innovateur en Afrique dénommé « Chaque village un jardin d'enfants en milieu rural et en banlieue », plus précisément en Afrique subsaharienne. Le rapport de la Banque mondiale Perspective environnement d'apprentissage est médiocre et qu'il existe des lacunes en matière de gestion et de soutien des enseignants. Le seuil de 20% des dépenses publiques consacrées à l'éducation est atteint par de nombreux pays africains, les pays allouant en moyenne 25% de leur budget national à ce secteur. Cela a été clairement exprimé lors de la conférence de financement du GPE à Dakar, au cours de laquelle 53 pays en développement ont promis d'augmenter leurs dépenses en matière d'éducation. Pour ceux qui ne connaissent pas le GPE, c'est le Global, c'est une organisation internationale qui s'occupe pratiquement de tout ce qui est éducation, en fait. Et Désamorcer les difficultés africaines en matière d'éducation et saisir cette opportunité. Les engagements politiques de cette ampleur en faveur des progrès faits par les ministres de l'Éducation africains constituent un résultat important pour les organisations et collectivités territoriales, notamment dans l'enseignement et l'apprentissage. Assurer le recrutement et le déploiement adéquat, la motivation, la formation et les programmes de développement professionnel des enseignants. Renforcer le dialogue et le partenariat avec les organisations d'enseignants. Renforcer les systèmes régionaux, nationaux d'évaluation de l'apprentissage afin de veiller à leur utilisation affective dans l'information des politiques et de prestige d'enseignement et d'apprentissage. Certains des engagements les plus conséquents figurent dans le domaine des responsabilités et de la participation citoyenne. Améliorer l'efficacité, la transparence et la responsabilité en optimisant l'allocation des enseignants, le suivi budgétaire, les revues de dépenses publiques, comptes nationaux de l'éducation. Développer les espaces dédiés à la participation publique, notamment celle de la jeunesse, dans le dialogue et la prise de décision en matière d'éducation. Une volonté politique substantielle est apparue de traiter et de transformer les systèmes éducatifs africains afin de rendre pertinent. Il est à présent temps de passer de la déclaration à l'action. Donc, moins de paroles. Le futur de l'Afrique dans l'éducation, oui, c'est possible. Excusez-moi, c'est possible. La réalité actuelle, c'est une population africaine de 1,2 milliard, soit 17% de la population mondiale avec un âge moyen de 19,5. L'Afrique est le deuxième continent le plus peuplé au monde après l'Asie. C'est également le continent abritant la population économiquement active la plus jeune. Donc, c'est un atout. L'afrofuturisme sera réellement possible demain car grâce à une éducation de qualité, nous aurons un monde dans lequel l'Afrique aura mobilisé l'énergie de ses enfants et de sa jeunesse pour reconquérir sa place. En conclusion, je me permettrai de citer cette fameuse phrase du président Léopold Sédar Senghor, le président poète, qui disait « J'en suis convaincu, au milieu des cyclones qui montent de tous les horizons, le destin du monde paradoxalement est entre nos mains, d'apparence si fragile, et d'abord entre vos mains et vous, citoyens du monde. Pour réussir encore une fois, il n'est que de croire et de vouloir. » Merci de votre aimable attention.
Thank you so much. Anyone have any question? Okay, so now I would like to ask each one for goodbye words and we close the session. Please start, Berit.
Right.
Everyone, and I'm sorry that I spoke earlier. I didn't have a chance to explain. I say thank you very much for each panelist. And then food insecurity is not only from United States, as my presentation show that we are the headquarters and from Florida. Each one of us show where food insecurity is attached. As you could see, U.S. is one of the top donors to United Nations. And then we also have food insecurity and homeless. And Florida is second one when you look at the PAM. But around the world, Florida become the 30th highest homelessness and food insecurity. You have Miss Nadine Koini, if I'm saying the name right, which she has in Republic of Congo, that she has to show a statistic that the young kids, not only homeless, also and food insecurity. We have Lamine Dankon, who just has his speech and show the whole Africa where and how, as a CSO with the Statue of UN that we've been fighting, We want UN to looking at us, what we have been done, and what we want to continue to help UN to reduce poverty is number one, which is part of the SDG 2030. We want UN to looking at us and then to invest not only on our foundation, to look at each of the panelists' project, the hard work that they've been invested in. It's not easy for CNO, NGO to receive donation. With the COVID-19 right now, with the crisis, it is hard for NGOs and CSO as well to receive monthly or daily or partial donation. How could we help food insecurity? How could we help and reduce homelessness? A year ago, UN launched what you call UN NGO to end working group to end homeless. Most of it, as we all know, UN does implementation policy. We as a CNO, we do the implemented. How we only have 8 more years to go for the SDG 2030. How could UN hear us, and how could UN reach out to each of the panelists to help to fill the gap into food insecurity? We not only the panelists, also the moderator who just brought not only Africa, also Yemen. So therefore, as we all know, Yemen already have continuous problem from day one. CSO, we invest our time, we invest our energy, we invest our resources, and then we also embrace our rejection. Doing a project in Sumit, we have 95% chance to be rejected instead being embraced. Today is population of food insecurity. This is something that the United Nations has been facing for decades. This is a time for us as a CSO to hear our voice, to UN, United Nations to hear your voice, not only into undeveloped countries, third world countries, as well as United States. As myself, as a homeless, as myself, as a food insecurity, as a college student, I know where it is. I know to go home, to go to bed hungry. I know when you're hungry, you cannot concentrate in school. Education, that's all you have. This is a time not only to UN to look at third world countries. This is a time also for UN to see United States as well. We suffer. We have students that's suffering as well, just like any third world country. We donate more money to UN to fulfill the gaps, but it seems that UN failed us to fulfill our own gaps. We have so many NGOs that all fighting for the same thing. Being homeless is not something that you're proud to say. Being homeless is not a choice. Being homeless is not something that you could speak on it. When you're a college student, you have the school and tuition to pay and books, and you ask yourself, the school or home or food? This is not the time to take as a student to concentrate. Once you complete the degree, you become a servant to the public. It is time now for UN to sit and look at each NGO, not only to focus where they are coming from, not only to focus which country give more. UN has plenty of funds, especially from us as US, to develop projects to help only the third world as well as us. Palm Beach County alone has over 200,000 food insecure. My foundation, we help, but we want more help. Nadine came with a project and spoke how much can she invest in Republic of Congo. A lot of us come with a project, but how many of us succeed? How many of us been there? We've been there for 7 years. Lamine been there for years. Nadine been there for years. This is a time for you and not only to hear a PowerPoint or presentation. No more policy. Now let's do implementation. Let's see which NGO was struggling and continue to do the work. This is what we are looking from UN. Not only talk, not only policy, but we want from UN implementation, either from Africa, which is needed, either in the United States. We all NGO are struggling. And we welcome each one of you that share the project, that share their hope, that share how they want to invest. A long talk is you could give a population a bread today, but you're asking yourself how you're going to continue, especially when they see that you have a statute of UN. It's just like when you get into a PhD program. They say to you, when you receive a DM, people do not looking at you. They say that you have a doctor in management. But when you say that you have a PhD, a doctor in philosophy, people think that you God. That's the same thing when you say that you have a statute of UN, and then you will be talking in UN. The community depend on you. The community has hope. The community expect new life, new meaning. This is what we want from UN. It's not only a statute, but we want also to say that a UN NGO was there. A UN NGO make implementation. A UN NGO change life. A UN NGO change a young girl from poverty, from education, and nourish all. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, 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 very much for coming. And thank you all for joining us.
So, thank you. Now we can close the session if anyone wants.
Congratulations for Pierrette, President Haiti Cholera Foundation Inc. Congratulations for Nadine. Congratulations again for Doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you for all. My English is not very, very high because I went to tell just
Parle français.
Yeah. Voilà. Donc, ce que je voulais dire, c'était de remercier l'ensemble des panélistes, mais en l'occurrence, Madame Pierrette, qui a eu quand même cette initiative de faire ce panel à l'occasion de cette 54e session, qui est aussi très, très importante parce que le problème de l'alimentation aujourd'hui dans le monde est un problème crucial. Nous sommes malades à cause de l'alimentation, il faut le dire. Nous sommes ce que nous mangeons et c'est ce que nous mangeons qui nous rend malades. Donc le monde doit quand même s'appesantir et voir un peu par rapport à sa consommation. Il y a trop de produits chimiques. Il y a trop de produits chimiques, surtout qui sont mis dans l'agriculture de manière générale et ça fait très très mal. Ça fait très très mal. Et il y a ce malbouffe que nous savons tous qui ne nous pardonne pas aussi. Donc je voulais dire uniquement que ce panel est arrivé à son temps. Je pense que c'est une chose qu'il faut reprendre et en parler plus occasionnellement. Je remercie vraiment l'ensemble des panélistes en l'occurrence. Et je remercie aussi en l'occurrence une de mes collègues qui est connectée, mais on ne la voit pas. Wi-Fi 2019. Mati, si tu peux te faire voir, ça me ferait plaisir. Parce que voilà, c'est une personne qui travaille avec moi, qui est trop proche avec moi. Et elle est là, mais bon, on ne la voit pas.
Comme on l'a dit, c'est vraiment important de travailler collectivement, de trouver des solutions ensemble, parce que cette crise nous a montré qu'il est important de vraiment s'asseoir, de travailler de façon interdisciplinaire pour un futur meilleur. Et pour moi qui travaille dans le domaine de la petite enfance, c'est vraiment important de pouvoir agir, pas seulement avec les enfants qui sont dans un cursus normal, mais aussi les enfants de rue qui parfois sont délaissés, où on se dit, voilà, culturellement, ils sont des enfants, il n'y a plus d'espoir pour eux. Mais c'est important de donner à chaque enfant de l'espoir, des rêves, pour qu'ils puissent participer finalement à construire un monde meilleur et aller vers eux, leur redonner confiance, leur redonner l'espoir et agir malgré les difficultés qu'on retrouve avec la situation que nous traversons suite à la COVID-19. Mais je pense que nous ne devons pas baisser les bras, mais au contraire continuer à travailler, à être vraiment des porte-parole pour eux. Et en tout cas, merci pour cette session qui m'a vraiment beaucoup inspirée. Merci beaucoup Pierrette, merci beaucoup Dr Nigim. Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Lamine. Et ce fut un honneur et un plaisir de pouvoir partager ce moment avec vous. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
So thank you so much for everyone. I'm glad we have done this and we want to see the results of our meeting later on. Thank you so much. And now...
One second. We have
Yes, please.
somebody from UNFPA, Mrs. Isabella Geraldine. That I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Would you please? She's registered under her name.
Yes,
Would you
please.
please say hello to the group, please, since you are UN representative? Hello, Mrs. Isabel.
Mati?
Yes.
Oui.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Could you please say hello to the group, please?
Yes, definitely. I'm not here in my capacity of, I'm not the representative of the UN. I'm just here in a kind of private capacity. But at the, in this CPD 54, I think it was interesting to hear from you. And I'm really happy, even if I had a little bit of technical difficulties, but I hope to have the recording of your session, and I'm really happy to see that CPD goes from the UN to the NGOs, and all together we can, work forward for the people. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you for joining us. And we are very sorry for the difficulty. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the minute done, and then thank you. We did it. We're gonna continue working. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Love you all. We will be continue working. Bye bye, everyone.